Okay, just a quick and dirty overview. Apologies, this is low production value. There is construction work going on above my office, so you may hear some clanging and banging, but just wanted to do a brief recap of some of the basic things we covered in the workshop. First of all is just how to get into Vanderbilt's private platform for generative AI, including GPT-4 Amplify. So we have our just basic web address here, vanderbilt.ai. If you just plug that in or bookmark that, you should be coming to this login page here. If you still are waiting for pilot access, I provided a link for how to request that, but more and more everybody's just going to have access to this, and that's the address which you'll do it, and you just click login, and then you'll see the same thing, your VUNet ID, login credentials that you generally would enter for a variety of databases around campus to access. And then you'll see the interface here for Amplify. So just the basics, a part of what's similar here, what's different versus like going on to ChatGPT and GPT-4. Down here again, this is just where you would message, where you would prompt the model, similar to if we were here on ChatGPT. You have your ability to upload here and your ability to prompt here. That is same idea, but you also have a few other things going on here. First off, you have a variety of models to choose from within this platform, and they'll add more and more all of the time. For our purposes, there's a variety of reasons why you may use one of these models over the others for other purposes, but I would say most of the time for our group, just using the best model, using GPT-4 Turbo, which is the best that we have available to us in the Amplify platform right now, that's going to be the one you would mostly go with. There's not a lot of reasons for you to use a GPT 3.5 or any of these others, at least for our purposes. What do we have here next? We have some of our custom instructions, which I will go more into later on when I cover how to make the PowerPoint presentation like I had done in the workshop. We'll get into that here in a minute, but it's basically a way to customize and hard code in some of the tasks that you might do that are repeatable that you don't necessarily want to come back and do a prompt for every time. So I'll cover that more in the next section. For brevity of this video, we're just going to do some of the basics here. Here's your history of conversations off to the left. You have abilities here, features that are starting to come out where you can share some of your prompts, some of your folders with other users that work within Vanderbilt, workspaces that you might be able to save, import, export conversations, manage accounts, some of those things that don't need to get into now, but there's, again, all these kind of customizable tools that have been built on top of the models that kind of work within the Vanderbilt universe. So some of the features we might do later, you might, share a custom assistant that you create with your students to have them do a quiz or engage in a simulation of some kind. We can get more into that later. For our purposes now, this is just kind of a basic overview of what these tools look like. Temperature, which I had covered briefly in the workshop as well. In a non-technical sense, you take the temperature up. The higher the number goes, the more creative, more randomized the output will be. It's basically going into is like a wider swath of its statistical sampling of the training data. More creative tasks. If you go down, take the temperature down, it's going to become more precise. It's going to become, I guess, a little more boring. It's going to stay more literal to the prompt that you've given it. So if I'm thinking, if you're just doing it for summarization tasks and you don't want it to go into business for itself in terms of the way it's describing the document or that you've asked it to summarize, you might want to take that down to 0. The language you'll get will probably be pretty boring, but it'll probably be more accurate. A lot of the people who are in the business of making legal research products on top of large language models, when I talk to them, they take that temperature down to 0 for a lot of the legal research stuff that they're doing because they just want it to stick to the script. verbose versus concise. This kind of speaks for itself. A couple other things here. You can upload documents here. That's one that we're looking at. And then also this is more for, these are documents that I have previously uploaded that I can call back on. So I kind of have my own file system within here that I don't have to upload. If I have documents that I'm coming back to a lot, I can use those and go back to those every time. The assistants and prompt templates, all of these things, custom instructions, these are things I will come back to in a quick video after this for a different section. But again, when I talk about the tools, the additional customizations that you have on hand available to you, this is what I'm talking about, the Amplify helper. So these are ones that are out of the box that the people who built Amplify built into the platform. So summary of quotations, CSV extractor, create PowerPoint. That is one I will show next. That's one I demoed in the workshop. Built-in tools that you can play around with for a variety of tasks. But again, kind of going to that idea of you don't necessarily have to say prompt in here, create me a visualization. You will have a tool in here that's kind of already preset for you to play around with, to do that work. And then the assistants here as well. These are assistant creators, something that'll be out of the box. These two, quiz creator, simulation assistant, are ones that I created myself that I will demo here in a separate video. But again, point these out mostly to these are kind of the custom tools that people have built here for you. Maybe you'll find them useful. Maybe you want to build your own tools, customizations, as opposed to ChatGPT where it's just kind of out of the box here. I have, again, some tools that I have played around with and built myself with these Explorer GPTs. That's kind of the same idea as these assistants, but I will explore that a little bit more in another video.